King shared this tweet on February 24, 2023. It's about a Deadline article titled It Prequel Series. Welcome to Derry set at HBO Max. So, after the first and the second It movies, we're finally going to see how that monstrous clown came to Earth. After It in 2017 and the sequel It Chapter 2, we thought we were never going to see this weird, terrifying clown again. But it turns out we were wrong.
What a nice boat. Do you want it back?
Yes, please.
HBO has been secretly working on making the prequel to Pennywise the Clown. In the 2017 remake of It, we didn't really understand where this clown came from. Was he a demon, an alien, a divine entity? Well, in the second movie, the creators took a peek behind the curtain, and it seems like this new prequel is yanking it fully open and taking us back to the 60s, right before the events of the first It movie unfolded. The story is based on the ultra-popular Stephen King novel of the same name. The first movie adaptation of the novel and the TV show came in the 90s, but they had moderate success, and you can clearly see why. The old Pennywise looks like a birthday party clown, but Bill Skarsgard's Pennywise is very different. Welcome to Derry will be a show about the little town of Derry, and they will probably talk about the 27 years before Georgie lost his boat in the sewer. They have an official IMDb page up and running, but they haven't released a lot of information about it yet. From Deadline, we know that filmmakers Andy Muschietti and Barbara Muschietti from both It and It Chapter 2 are going to be working on this movie. In addition, Jason Fuchs is coming back as well. He only worked on It Chapter 2. Talking to Deadline, Fuchs said smash that like button just like you should if you haven't done so already. But no, in all seriousness, the man actually said the following: to be able to return to the world of my all-time favorite horror novel and help build upon the singularly brilliant cinematic universe created by Andy and Barbara is more than the opportunity of a lifetime. It's a dream come true, or maybe more appropriately, a nightmare. Fuchs, Andy, and Barbara Muschietti will be writing the story for the first episode together, but Jason Fuchs will write the teleplay himself. Fuchs will also be the co-showrunner for Welcome to Derry. The other co-showrunner is going to be the brilliant Caleb Kane. We should mention that Andy Muschietti will be the director of several episodes of Welcome to Derry. And on top of that, Jason Fuchs, Caleb Kane, Andy Muschietti, and Barbara Muschietti will act as the show's executive producers. Andy and Barbara have a deal with Warner Bros. TV through their Double Dream production company, which helps them produce the movie. The other executive producers working on the show include Shelley Mills, Dan Lin, and Roy Lee. Sadly, it's still too early to tell if Bill Skarsgard will return to play Pennywise the Clown for Welcome to Derry. However, from the IMDb page, we know that Rolando Davila Beltran will be playing Toby Williamson in the show. We also know that the show is going to be available for streaming on HBO Max. When it comes to the teaser, we've only seen the fan-made trailers online. They are good, and they are getting some traction, but there's no official trailer released from Warner Bros. Or HBO. That's probably because the show is still in the making. When talking about Welcome to Derry, the brilliant Stephen King has this to say: I'm excited that the story of Derry, Maine's most haunted city, is continuing, and I'm glad Andy Muschietti is going to be overseeing the frightening festivities, along with a brain trust including his talented sister, Barbara. Red balloons all around. We are thrilled to continue this iconic franchise with the brilliant Andy and Barbara Muschietti. Jason Fuchs and Brad Caleb Kane, stated Sarah Aubrey from HBO Max. This prequel will expand the It storytelling canvas and bring fans deeper into the terrifying, mesmerizing towns of Derry. When the Muschiettis got to talk about this new project, to say that they were excited would be an understatement. They grew up reading Stephen King's It. They said, and we quote, "As teenagers, we took turns reading chapters of Stephen King's It until the thick paperback fell to pieces. The world of It, or rather the universe of Pennywise, the clown, is far more complex than the movies can show. So they have a lot of material to draw upon in this movie. From the looks of it, they want to bring all of the horror, humor, and humanity of that novel to the screen. To do that, we'd have to go back and look at Pennywise's origins. We don't know exactly what the show will be about. We just know it's going to take place in the 60s, but there's no doubt that they will talk about how Pennywise decided to take on the form of a clown. From the movies, we know that Pennywise is one of the many faces of this shape-shifting being that's as old as Earth itself. It came to Earth before mankind even existed. It is from the Macroverse, a universe outside the one we inhabit. Pennywise is billions of years old, and it likes to smash that subscribe button just like you should if you haven't done so already. But no, seriously now, Pennywise likes to eat children's flesh seasoned with a lot of that tasty fear, as Pennywise likes to put it. It all began during prehistoric times. Part of its arrival was announced during the ritual of Chud. It came on an asteroid that was crashed on Earth in the place that later became known as the town of Derry. In the beginning stages, it was hibernating, but when humans started roaming the Earth, it started feasting. For hundreds of thousands of years, it would repeat the 27-year cycle. Speaking of which, have you noticed that the first It movie was released in 1990 and then the remake was released in 2017? Exactly 27 years apart. Coincidence or not? What do you think? But let's get back to Pennywise. Oh, sorry, It hadn't yet become Pennywise. In the beginning, it appeared in a form known as the Deadlight. These writhing orange lights killed anyone who dared look into them. And as the movie suggested, it was actually a ball of pulsating energy. Anyone who dared look directly into the shining lights became permanently insane or died on sight. Beverly Marsh was the only one that saw the true form of It, but somehow she made it out alive and sane. That being said, she was in a coma after that. Its major enemy is not only fear, but a giant turtle that Stephen King named Matron. Matron was one of the largest beings in King's universe. He was kind, compassionate, loving, gentle, and wise. According to the lore, Matron vomited the earth when it had a stomach ache. Unlike It, which is a creature of consumption, Matron is a creature of creation. Now, we saw Pennywise defeated in the past, so in this upcoming series, maybe we'll see how he chose to become the terrifying clown of Derry, where he hunts little children after threatening them. Now, the story about how this eldritch being from the ends of the known universe took the form of a clown begins when It took the identity of Mr. Bob Gray, also known as Pennywise, but It was actively murdering little children well before that. The monster began the attacks in 1715, and every 27 years, it's been repeating them. Why It chose to take the identity of a clown and has stuck with it all these years is unknown, but we think it has something to do with Stephen King. That's because the author of the book thinks clowns scare children more than anything else in the world. On top of that, it makes for a good cover-up. No one would interfere or suspect a clown to be behind the murders. This allows Pennywise to manipulate children and then eat them alive without anyone suspecting anything. Think about it. Who would feel threatened that their child spoke to a clown? And maybe in Welcome to Derry, they'll talk about how Pennywise can kill even those who aren't afraid of it. See you in the next video.